try that again.
All right, guys, we were very excited to have you here, but we're more excited to have our guests. So I'm not gonna make this moment any longer. I need a big round of applause for the stars of the 100, Mr.
Very well.
Yeah. Good to hear. Hello, hello.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
We're really excited to have you here today. It's always great to have people from the 100. We have a lot of fans here in Germany. I'm from the Netherlands. We have a lot of fans in the Netherlands as well, and it's always a blast to have you here. And I just explained to the audience that if they have questions, they can line up. But Lua, you had different plans to start today,
I do have a different plan. Guys, I was thinking that we can play a tiny game of charades. I prepared some passwords about the 100, and we make our audience guess. Is that alright, audience? Are you ready for a game of charades? Alright, so I need a volunteer. Who's first? No hands up. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna...
There we go. Give it up for Luisa!
Alright, so are you ready? I have a secret password for you. Can you show that?
And you all are going to guess the words, so scream it when you know it.
Yes, go ahead.
Two words.
The second word. It's a box, no. What is it? Skybox? No, it's not. Different. The second word. 3 letters. Come on guys, you know it. So it's 2 words.
You're doing great.
Come on, guys. You need some guesses here.
There are. Yes! Bravo!
Give it up for the art!
Well done! Alright, let's do one more password because
That was very hard.
that was very hard.
You did great.
Everybody's up.
I have one for you.
All right, give it up for Maria,
One word.
everyone! One word.
What is it, guys? Come on.
Keep guessing.
You want one girl or you want to have one girl? Choose! Octavia, Octavia. Yeah! Password is Octavia. Well done.
Awesome!
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for that, guys. That's enough. I think we all need a coffee after that or a beer. Come on, sit. Hello. So, guys, The 100 was a show that influenced a lot of young kids, and you guys have an amazing fan base. Do you have your favorite story about your fan or an encounter or fan, maybe some fan art that you received that would you like to share? Anybody?
I actually just received a wonderful Funko Pop of Maury in the dress, the Sanctum dress. And it was beautifully done and handmade. It was so cool. It was just awesome, especially seeing Maury all done up and nice. So thank you.
I was going to say that's a custom-made Funko.
They're all custom made. Yeah.
So where are you going to store that in your house?
On my special Maury shelf. Beside one other Funko Pop that I have.
Chelsey, do you have anything?
Yeah, Jurgi, are you in the house? Even if he is, he probably won't shut up. But Jurgen continually outdoes himself by putting either our photos on a clock or like a laser thing that shoots up a photo into the air. It's very futuristic. Yeah. One time a pillow the size of our faces.
Well, that's really nice.
Yeah, pretty memorable.
You're all incredibly creative.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
talented.
Yeah. And it's so fun for us. It's such a lovely surprise. So thank you.
And Chelsey, where do you put it in your house? Do you have a special shelf?
You know what? I think Jürgen is selfish and keeps them. I think I just sign them and he takes them back.
Yeah, come on. You should do two next time, 2 copies.
I used to have a shelf with lots of Rowan stuff, but my children steal everything that I get because it's like a toy. So like I find things like, you know, like the flame that I have, I find that like in the Lego. Yeah, because like the kids take it, yeah, like the actual flame, the real one. Like it's like I find it
In the Lego set.
in the Lego set.
We should do the 100 Lego set.
They should.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, Lego.
Copyright it.
Copyright, yeah.
There is 100, like I said.
Really?
Yeah, there used to be. Remember, used to be stuff on Twitter where somebody would reenact all the scenes.
Oh.
Anyway,
They would reenact all the scenes with the Lego set.
reenacting scenes. They would reenact the scenes, some certain scenes, with Lego characters from the show the night before. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Didn't you guys see that?
I never saw this.
Like they reenacted like in stop motion or something. Wow, that's
If you,
Like they made a Lego
if you know what that is, definitely tag us in it. I'd love to see it.
I mean, and it's interesting too, when the 100 came on, of course it was a massive hit right from the start. Some of you were already in the first season, some of you joined later on. But it opened up this whole world of like, Comic Con and this, well, huge, immense, intense sometimes fan base. What was it like for you as an actor to also find out about that world? I mean, normally you're on a show and, you know, that's it, you have some fans or you have a lot of fans, but with this, you also have that huge people dressing up as your character, especially like the character of Octavia. What's it like for you as an actor to experience that world? Just in general.
Well, I can imagine for you, you had Lost and you must have already.
Yeah,
Yes.
I had experienced a little bit of that with Lost, but this show. It must be something about my mouth. I don't know what it is. The way I'm sitting. Is it my feelings?
Here you go.
Anyway, so I kind of experienced that with Lost, but yeah, the fans with this show were equally as passionate and inventive. So yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of lucky to come in, you know, in a later date and had kind of no idea about all of that and just, you know, was embraced and it was really cool. Just become a part of it and you know, see the fans' reactions and, you know, as an actor, essentially anytime anyone appreciates anything you do, that's awesome because most of your life is not appreciated, you know, people. So
I appreciate you.
oh, thank you, I appreciate you.
I'm just happy you're all here today and got up early to see us.
Yeah, thank you.
What's up, Germany?
Yeah, of course, like the fan base is really intense and really beautiful, but it's just so the costumes in the show and like the way you guys were like dressed and the way it's all styled, it is so the fuel for the imagination as well and for creativity.
We look great in blood, don't we?
Yes,
Who needs makeup when you're covered in blood and sweat?
it's difficult to make a cosplay of people from Lost.
True. Just, I mean, when we would go in the morning, you just come in as yourself. You go through hair and makeup, and you get your layer of blood, your layer of scars, your layer of dirt, your layer of sweat. Then you get in your wardrobe, which, depending on how many layers you have, might take you 5 to 10 minutes.
And you had a fake hand you had to wear.
I had a fake hand. I mean, we had so many people had so many pieces when props and weapons. By the time you stepped on the set, you were ready. It's easy to transform or to feel in the fun when you spend all that time getting there.
Yeah, I think I would ask, like, can you contour me with the dirt? Just hit me a little cheekbone with it.
But there is that noise on the internet that the people in the 100 looked too perfect for this
I
much
have
time
heard
in the space. that you guys should be more rugged and the hair and the makeup should be so beautiful.
I don't know. I mean, personally, I felt like I was pretty rugged and dirty. I mean, like my hands were so grubby for that. Like there was like dirt under my nails for like years after that. Like I think there's still some under there.
I remember on the 100, I didn't get a manicure for 8 solid years because you'd go to work in the morning and they would just paint dirt exactly like you were saying underneath your nails, and you just had to get used to looking sort of homeless.
Homeless in space.
Anyone who did any fighting, especially with swords, would usually have little nicks all over their and scabs all over their hands, and that would just work their way into the show because you're always getting injured for real.
A lot of knuckling, you know, with the bamboo swords, people would swing pretty hard, and you know, it wouldn't exactly it wouldn't kill you, but it would really, you know, really bust up your knuckle for sure.
What are you trying to say? I wasn't accurate with my
No,
sword?
you were actually very accurate with your sword.
Who is this guy?
I mean, I got knuckled quite a few times.
You were in a lot of fights.
There was a lot of sword fights.
Did you guys have to spend a lot of time like practicing, rehearsing the fight scenes? Was it like the whole training? Like how would the normal D100 day look like?
Were there any normal days?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no, but I mean, on sword fights, actually, it was remarkable kind of how little time there was. Like, sometimes it would be like, hey, you're doing a sword fight tomorrow. And you're like, oh, really? Is it a long one? And then they'd be like, yeah, a really long one. And then you're just, you know, prepping and trying to do it. And, you know, it's like a brutal ballet.
It's a dance. It's like learning dance choreography, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know, there were days where rehearsals would be for Octavia. It was really fun because a highlight for me was Helios, if you guys remember when Octavia got her horse. So to learn how to sword fight on horseback was pretty remarkable for me. But do you guys remember when Octavia became Blood Reina? Okay, that was a really fun episode for me because it was 57 moves I remember, and it's exactly like learning a dance. And the stunt performers and stunt coordinators were just so fabulous, and it was really, really cool to learn that skill. So now if I ever get in a bar fight, I feel bad for whoever the other person is.
And she carries a sword around with her.
Just a little foldable one in a purse.
Yeah, it fits in the dress.
I remember, Marie, you did a fight once in the rain. I think I was shadowing, and you did it. I don't know how many times, maybe twice. And your stunt double did it first. Do you remember the fight in the rain? It was a phenomenal fight, and she did it amazingly well. Everyone was in awe. I think Marie was just gifted at doing all that stuff. And she was, no disrespect to a stunt double, but in my opinion, superior many times to a stunt double. She was just phenomenal.
Oh, thanks. That's very sweet.
That's a great review.
But Marie is kind of a stunt double in her life. She's like riding a motorcycle.
Were there, because of the intensity of the fight scenes, of course, were there any moments where you were doing stunt and thinking like, wow, this was a little bit too close to, you know, the edge?
It's always a close call with swords, and everybody on the stage has done a lot of stunts on the 100. It was a very action-focused show for sure. If I can nail one down that was the most crazy, let me see. Definitely sword fighting on horseback, going like 60 miles an hour on the thing with that. Does anyone know what a Russian arm is? No. It's a vehicle with a, you're a director, Ian, can you explain what a Russian arm
I
is?
was going to ask you, what is a Russian arm, Marie? What is a Russian arm? Tell us what a Russian arm is. I don't know. No, I think I do know.
It's a
the
camera.
arm on the.
Yeah, it's a stabilized camera. They actually have a gyroscope on the front of it that is. They call it the Russian arm because it's the same gyroscope that they put for attack helicopters to keep the gun steady. It's on that, and that's what's keeping the image. And a lot of times they're going very fast over rough terrain. It's pretty impressive.
So I was galloping on horseback 1,000,000 miles an hour with two big vehicles on either side of the horse. And is there any horse riders in the room? Any equestrians? Yes, there we go. So horses are typically very squirrely. So it's kind of sketchy to be galloping 1,000,000 miles an hour bareback with two vehicles going just as fast as your gallop to make sure your horse doesn't freak out and panic. And that to me was probably the craziest stunt I ever did on the 100. And you have to stay really focused. and just pray to Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. The horse doesn't freak out.
Yeah, I mean, there was actually for a show, like there was a lot of crazy action that they did. I mean, I'm just remembering they like let me jump off the rover onto the back of a truck.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're really gonna do this? All right, let's go.
That's pretty intense. That's pretty cool, no? Did the horse have a stunt double as well?
No, the horse was its own game.
Horse double.
We did lose a horse once.
No.
It was, I think it was...
That's right, it took off the
I don't think we're
Starbucks.
supposed to talk about that.
Okay, I'm gonna tell the
They
story.
did not.
I'm gonna tell the story. This is a good one.
Great story.
Okay, so we had tons of horses on the 100, as you guys know, and was it Asgard that had all the horses? Ice Nation. And one of the horses decided to get loose, and it took off our set and wound up at Starbucks by itself, like 10 miles away, and the whole crew was looking for this horse, and it made Vancouver, Canada news. Because and it was covered in blood.
Blood and war paint.
Blood and war paint falling off. And there's all these tourists in Vancouver, and this bloody, tattooed horse was just cruising through the Starbucks drive-thru. I kid you not, that happened.
I thought it was gonna be a sob story when you said we lost the horse, but you literally lost the horse.
No, that was misleading. No horses were harmed in the adventure.
No, the horse was fine.
And heavily caffeinated.
The horse just wanted a chai latte, you know?
I mean, it does, tell a lot about the cast when the horse knows how to go to Starbucks. Just you've been there 2 minutes.
It was just picking up the order. Everyone was needing
We
coffee.
trained him well.
The horse was like, can I have a skinny, non-fat, sugar-free matcha? No. It was so high maintenance, my goodness. I couldn't handle show business.
And did you ever on the set thought like, shit, I need to get paid more for this? Like this is like.
Every day.
Do you have a specific moment in the mind like this is way beyond my pay grade?
Zach?
Well, I mean, pretty much everything I was like ever asked to do, I was like, really? We're gonna do that? Like, I was like, so cool. Yeah, we're just gonna ride in with the army and the horses. That'll be fine. You guys were like chained up in front of the horses. Do you remember this? When I had like you and Bob were like chained up in front of the horses with like hoods over your head.
On our knees, yeah.
Yeah, you had hoods over your head.
On the horse, yeah.
And like one of the horses was just like freaking out and rearing. And like I was like, Tasya, back the horse. Like, horses can be pretty dangerous in those scenarios. And you've got like actors with hoods over their head in front of them and loads of extras with bows and arrows, and horses don't like pointy things, like they swords and stuff, they can be a little skittish, so that was actually a really intense day. But funny enough, on that shot, which is really epic, we had to do it twice because somehow there was a giant rainbow behind us when we did it the first time, so like the whole army came up and it was this really epic shot, but like the clouds parted and there was a giant rainbow, and we were watching playback and we were like, it's cool, but it's not the vibe. Like, so we had to do it again.
We don't smile on the 100. I think I smiled once in 100 episodes. And that was for when I walked off the ark and said, we're back, bitches!
That was the only smile.
Every time.
I can see that there is a question from the audience, so I'm gonna leave that. Go ahead. Can we get the microphone on, please?
Good morning!
Hi, I have 2 questions. First of all, if you could play someone else, who would you play? And the second question is, if your partner, so for example, Murphy doesn't exist, or Murray isn't together with him, with who you would be together. It's a question for all. So, for example, Octavia isn't together with Lincoln. Okay, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so the first question is who else would they like to play, what character, yes?
Yeah.
And the second one, what other person they would like to be in a couple?
Yes.
Perfect, let's do that. Did you guys get it? Yeah. All right, who wants to start?
I would love to play Indra. because, man, I mean, anything Adina touches, I just want to bathe in that glow.
You stole my answer.
We can share, we'll share it. We'll share that answer.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. I cannot imagine anyone else that Amori would be with, honestly. I can't. I just can't.
And Henry?
Who would I rather play? I was very happy with Kane. I didn't really want to play anyone else. And I can't imagine Kane with anybody else but Abby. So, or maybe Michael Beach. He could be with Michael Beach too. That's about it.
Luisa? Oh, sorry. Jesus, you already answered. Marie?
I was really happy playing Octavia because I got to be 1,000 characters in one, because Blood Reina was my favorite, let's face it. Who liked Blood Reina in the room? Come on.
Yeah. Thank you. Zach?
I was very happy playing Ron, but I really liked Murphy, you know, a lot. I just like the character, so, and I've never played a character like that, so I think that'd be fun to try. And as far as who else he would be with, I mean, he was never really with anyone. He spent a lot of time with a lot of different characters, but he wasn't really the romance kind of guy. He didn't really have much of that. So
Romance.
He's a romance kind of guy.
Would you imagine your character as someone?
Yeah, I actually talked about that once with like Jason. I was like, does he have any romantic interests?
I ship us.
Yeah. All right, so probably that would have worked. I mean, we sword fought and stuff, so it's,
That's the way we romance each other.
you don't know someone until you sword fight them.
Swords, true.
Chelsey?
My answer always is Octavia, just because Marie looks so fucking sexy in that role. I'm like, God damn! Just to walk on set with like the leather strap-on boots and like the red across your beautiful blue eyes, I was like, shit. So that'd be pretty, and like with the sword and shit. Plus then I'd get to fight Zach, so that'd be sweet.
That can be arranged.
The night is young. I hate to emulate every answer, but yeah, I think Harker is meant for Monty.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a match made in heaven.
And I
Literally. I do agree, yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
for the
much.
question.
Thank you too, and may we meet again.
May we meet again.
They would meet again.
I can see another question. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, what season did you guys enjoy filming the most, and what season do you think is the best?
Ooh, good question. Chelsey, you want to start?
Well, basically after I was killed off, it was all downhill from there.
You took my answer.
No, I'm just joking. I think, I never remember, is it season 2 when we're in Mount Weather, or is it 3? 2. I like Mount Weather. I liked filming down there. Thought it was pretty cool. Sorry, was the second part of the question?
And which is the best season?
Oh. I'm gonna be honest, spoiler alert by the way, I just figured out how the show ended and that blew my mind, so I'm about to watch that. I think I might. That might be top of my list because it sounds so bonkers with what happens. Have you finished the show?
Yeah, my daughters like watching it, so I have to watch it a lot actually. It's on at my house all the time.
Oh, get it!
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta come home and I'm like, oh.
To yourself?
There it is. Yeah, but there's very few things I've done that are like PG-13. I've done a lot of like rated R kind of stuff, and so there's only so much of my work that my kids can watch, and that's one of, The 100 is one of them. So and they really like it, so it's on a lot, and so I watch it.
Do they have a favorite character, and what do they think?
They like her.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We all do.
And what is your favorite season then?
Oh, my favorite season was being in the bunker because I basically had to play a psychotic dictator to convince other people that cannibalism was a great idea. So for me, that was a challenging role to play, to tell people to do the most awful things on planet Earth. Yeah, we went pretty dark there, didn't we, for a minute? So that was my favorite season just because for me it was challenging as an actress. And even Stephen King tweeted me that he liked Blood Reina, and I think it's just because I looked like it. Wife, like It's wife. Like Stephen King's It, I look like Stephen King's It wife. And I was very happy I got a nod from Stephen King on Twitter about Blood Raina, so I thought that was pretty cool.
That is valid. That is valid being tweeted to by Stephen King. Well done.
I loved shooting season 4 and season 6, I think, because they were, to me, 2 seasons where Amori had a lot of evolution, and she was dealing with a lot of her own difficulty. And then I honestly loved watching season 2. I remember just watching it when I was enjoying the show. I was in LA at the time, and I remember being like, okay, it's 3 in the morning. And I was like, I'll just watch one more episode. One more episode is fine. And, okay, it's one more episode. I'll watch one more episode. And I knew they shot it in Vancouver, and I was like, hey, maybe one day I'll get on the show. And I knew people on the show, and then I got on the show.
Magic. Cool. Perfect. Thank you, Henry.
Season 3 for me was probably the most fun season. I remember having a lot of giggles with so many members of the cast at that time. And then the show went very dark after that, which I didn't really like that much. So season 3, I don't remember exactly what happened in season 3, but I remember like going to work and having fun and laughing a lot.
I think that was
I remember what I did to you in season 3.
What happened in season 3?
I played a prank on you. Do you remember what it is?
Was this when we were squirting water?
Maybe. You want to tell them what happened? You were doing a scene with Paige Turco.
Yes. That wasn't the highlight of my season 3, I think Marie came behind me and squirted, what is it, was it a hose? Was it the fire extinguisher?
What?
I stuck it on my ass and squirted my ass.
To make it look like he peed himself while he was doing a very, very serious scene with Paige Turco.
But that was the tone of season 3. It was like we would do things like that. I remember there being a lot of fun, a lot of giggles, a lot of messing around. I remember that being I really enjoyed season 3. That for me was the highlight.
You were great in season 3. And the rest of them.
Thank you so much. It's like because I said you did a really good fight. You just give me Anyway, what was the other part of the question?
So which one was the favorite to shoot and which one is the favorite to watch?
Oh, season 3.
Because you know what happened there. Thank you so much. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Next question, please.
Hi. First of all, I want to say that this is my favorite TV show. I've watched it so many times. Octavia and Amori are my favorite characters. Season 5 and Season 6 are my favorite. Today I was actually trying to do a Mori cosplay, a mild one, but I didn't have all the pieces. Thank you. But the question I've always asked myself is, what happens to all the set pieces and the items of the show? I mean, the entire bunker of One Crew and Sanctum, they've all been built. What happens to all of that stuff?
Warner Brothers has it all in a museum.
Really?
Where's
Yes.
it?
Yeah, they took all of our pieces and it's in the Warner Brothers archives.
Wow.
So if you do some research, you can go check it all out.
I will.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
That or part of your kid's Lego set.
Yeah, what's not in my kids' toy boxes, of course. I have a couple things. There might be a crown somewhere around there too.
Did you guys take anything from set? Did you bring a frog home to remind yourself?
Yes.
Was it the fire extinguisher?
I took Octavia's sword.
Shut up! That's so badass!
You always take your sword.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
If anyone breaks into my house, they're in big trouble.
Chelsey, what did you take?
I took a lot of food, a lot of crafty. I made sure I always packed a big backpack. But also, I think I stole a bullet, like a bullet casing. It felt sexy. I was like, I'm gonna put this on a necklace, and then I didn't and did nothing with it. What about you?
I took some clothing. I took Kane's jumper, which I still wear. In fact, I have it in the hotel.
What?
I was gonna wear it tonight, but
Yes.
I'll wear it tomorrow. So I took his sweater, and that's about it.
Amazing.
I got a few costume pieces.
Yeah?
I have Amori's vest from season 5 and 6, I believe it was, once we come back down. And some some like big boots and some of the dresses I wore in Sanctum.
I'm so lucky you got to wear a dress.
I know. It was wild. It was wild. I was like, what show am I shooting? I feel so fancy.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Thank you so much for the question. Next one, please.
Hello, my question is, what do you think is serious is the after the post-apocalyptic from the AI? AI intelligence destroyed the Earth. What do you think is possible for this generation, and what you think, and a little bit info in Germany we have in the next time no power plant, we are safe.
Okay, so the question is if the 100 would happen after AI apocalypse.
Yeah.
All right, that's a cool question. What do you guys think?
What do you think?
Yeah, would the 100 happen after the apocalypse would be not from the nuclear war, but from the AI going bonkers?
Anything is possible.
Sure.
We might just be a prediction this show.
Yeah, that's true. Oh no, let's not do it. That's a great question. What do you think? It would be possible?
What?
What do you think?
I think it's more than possible.
More than possible.
And the humans are stupid. So our species is not too safe to survive. Only in Germany we have no power plant for the next time. We have no Kernschmelze of English.
I personally think that the forces of good will always fight, against the forces of bad. So, yeah, while there'll be maybe, things that happen in the world, like I kind of believe in the greater good kind of winning in the end. So I think there'll be always people who would fight against it, and thus, maybe.
You trust that people are born good.
Over enough time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Hi.
My question is, what was the hardest scene to film in the entire series?
What was the hardest scene to shoot? Yes?
Yeah.
What was the hardest scene to shoot through the entire series? Chelsey, start. You're next to me.
For me, the hardest scene that I got to shoot was actually the sword fight with Alicia in the middle of everyone, because it was like I had not really even met everyone on the show yet, and I was just like coming there, and I had to like work in I mean, it was literally like this, and obviously didn't want to hurt anyone, and we just wanted to get it done right, and I didn't really know where my character was going at that time. So for me, it was just like a lot of eyes on me, and I didn't want to mess it up. So that one was really hard, and it was just a long sequence, and yeah, that was very hard for me, but it was awesome also, so I'm glad I got to do it.
There were some sequences that were, particularly in December, extremely cold. And I remember one sequence where we were dragging some bodies out of rubble, and it was like maybe 5 or 6 in the morning. I don't know if you guys remember this. And freezing cold. People were really struggling, and physically they couldn't stop shaking in front of the camera. Those scenes were particularly challenging. Not hard, but just challenging. And I think everyone likes a challenge anyway, so. And our cast was pretty resilient, and they all rose to it. All except one.
Thank you.
Well, who was that? Don't leave us with it.
Shots fired!
All except one.
I think one of the more challenging scenes, there are two I can think of. We were out in the woods, I think it was the end of season 4, and we were in the radiation suits, or maybe that was 5.
I was gonna say that when they're fogging up.
Yeah, and then the suits fogged up. You had to have a fan going so you could see, but the fan was too loud for our sound. We couldn't hear anybody else, so we were kind of just doing our dialogue when it looked like the other person was done talking, assuming you could see their mouth through the shield. And we had earpieces that would give us each other's lines, but they didn't always work. And it was snowing outside, it was below freezing.
And middle of the night.
So technically that was extremely difficult. It wasn't emotionally difficult, but technically it was extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And then the most emotionally difficult scene for me was in season 7 after I had been impaled when the rubble fell on me and John Murphy's, like I'm bleeding out and he's telling me to hold it together basically anyway, the whole scene between us was between the pain and the knowing kind of what's coming, and that was very emotional for both of us to get there, and then we kind of had to just go breathe afterwards. But it was really beautiful to shoot. It was a great challenge.
Thank you.
Wow, there was a lot of challenging things on the 100. Like Ian was mentioning, we were constantly battling the weather and just dealing with a lot of dark subject matter all the time. We were just constantly trying to survive, on and off camera for sure. But there was a lot of things for me that were difficult as an actress and challenging that I really enjoyed. And one of them, did you guys love Octavia and Lincoln together? Watching Lincoln die was challenging for Octavia to watch him be executed right in front of her. She didn't make it there in the nick of time to save his life. So for me as an actress, it was challenging to express that pain on camera without saying anything, and also switching her face into revenge quickly to figure out how to take Pike down. And that was the beginning of Blood Reina, where her heart turned dark. So for me, that was a fun and challenging part as an actress to explore that transition, definitely.
Thank you. Chelsey, you want to share?
When we were in Mount Weather, when Harper was drilled in the butt for her bone marrow, just another dark subject matter, that was extremely entertaining for me. As an actor, I just asked to remain on the table. I didn't want to leave between takes, to just try to stay in that emotional mind frame, and it's something that's memorable for me. Otherwise, yeah, just to echo, no pun intended, to echo what they've said, the weather was always difficult, but as my friend Rob Buckley from iZombie said, people on the 100 just know how to camp. Like, it's like camping. We're just out there in the woods all the time. And I think, as you said, handled it well. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the question.
Thank you too. Maybe we will meet again.
Maybe meet again.
And last question.
Hi.
Hello.
So I have 2 questions. One question for everyone and another question for only Mary. So my first question is, what is the best thing that has ever happened to you?
Wow.
That's a good question.
I have 4 kids.
That's a good answer.
I have a dog.
Yeah, kids, I would second that.
My brain went to my nieces and nephews. Isn't it funny? Kids keep together.
I think just being born in Canada to the parents I was born to.
Wow. Yeah, my parents are the best.
Best thing.
We got a couple Canadians in the house here.
Yeah, woo!
Any more in the house? Any more Canadians?
We actually have a couple Americans now, too, in the house.
I am now an American citizen.
But to wrap it back to one of your first questions of what was it like to have these fan conventions, it's also something I'm incredibly grateful for. This has been a side of my career that I didn't expect. To meet you guys, to have this family, this support system, to see you guys create your own relationships within the fandom has been really lovely for me. And of course, then I get to travel the world with my friends, and it's a gift. It's pretty cool. We're in Germany right now, guys.
Yeah, this is Germany, right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then my second question is for Mary. What was your favorite thing about your character? Like the personality of your character? Is there anything you really like about the personality of your character?
Sure, yeah. I really enjoy a lot of things about Octavia because I never got bored with her. I don't know if any of you know this about me, but I'm a Gemini. So So there's a lot of different faces to me, and Octavia was given so many different names. She went from the girl under the floor to, oh my God, you guys can help me with this, Blood Rainer to, you know, Skyripa, to all of these different characters. So my favorite thing about her definitely is I got to play so many characters in one and grow with her, and I got to grow as an actress at the same time. And I'm really happy that the fans got to be on that journey with me too.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a great question. Guys, this is all the questions we have, but I would like to ask you for one favor, if it's okay. Could we take a selfie with our audience? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, I was actually about to do
Are you
that.
ready for that as well? Yeah? All right. I'll ask Jenna to take it for us. All right. So let's go here. We're going to line up here with the audience in the back. Guys, if you want to stand up.
I'm actually going to take my own right now. Hey. Hit it. Here. Everyone smile.
Smile.